All right.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Trust Relations, the podcast.
I'm here with April, the founder of Trust Relations and the doyen of all things public relations.
And of course, we're joined by the wonderful Hamish, our marketing lead and expert in the space, who I like to call my marketing other half.
We're tackling some of the biggest topics in news and integrated marketing and learning from the mistakes that make headlines or sink brands.
So join us as we have a chat about what works, what doesn't, and what we have to say about all of it. So Hamish, how have you been?
Been good, thank you, April. Been good. Busy, churning and burning. Few new clients that I'm chatting to in the last few days and got lined up. So it's good. Busy period. What about you?
Good. Busy's good. I have been working out a ton, which is very exciting. But somehow this morning, this is quite embarrassing. I did something with my hand, like the way that I was doing my push-ups or something. I don't know what I did. And now it's like one of those weird, like I have a thumb injury from working out.
Oh no. It's not tingly or anything. You haven't pinched a nerve.
No, it's not a bad injury, but it was one of those that was like, oh, can I keep doing anything with my hand? Like how?
No.
I just tweaked it funny.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nothing to make you feel old when you're working out, like injuring your hand in the middle of work.
Yeah, you know you're getting old when you sit down or you stand up and you groan. And that's when I've decided you're old.
Oh my God, so funny. Yeah.
No, that's not good. Otherwise, all well.
Otherwise good. Yeah, I'm going to another paint and sip class this week, so this has become one of my new extracurricular activities of the winter since I can't go hiking.
What do you sip if you're not sipping sips?
Soda water, soda water and lime.
Because it taps into your inner creative, the soda water.
I don't need to. I don't need anything to
No,
tap
you don't.
into.
You're very cool like that. I have to admit.
It's just there.
Yes, yeah, I know. You're one of those people with the undercurrent of, hey, look, I can just paint a Mona Lisa look-alike, and I'm very good. And I'll pen you a song at the same time.
I don't know about the Mona Lisa.
Okay, well, it's probably not your style. You're probably more of an expressionist than you are an impressionist.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as much of a painter. The painting things that I go to, they like tell you what to do basically, but
it's still cool.
But ironically, I'm painting a wine bottle on Thursday, which is funny since I don't drink wine.
That's good.
That'd be good.
Hi everyone. This is your show producer, Veronica, chiming in with today's communications buzzwords. April's word is superannuated. And for Hamish, the word is magniloquent. Happy listening.
All right. So should we dive into our news of the day?
Why not? Hit us with it.
So the news of the day is that there's a new phenomenon of, quote, Deinfluencing that's changing influencer culture, which is very interesting.
It is, and it's probably not that surprising, but it's taking the world by storm.
Yeah, and I think that this is definitely something to watch because probably an extension of cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's coming in the cultural influence leading into brand awareness, brand acceptance, brand denial, right? All of these things where people want to support brands and companies that support the values that they represent. And that works on both sides of the aisle. And so I feel like there's been a big move towards, and this is something brands are going to have to watch out very carefully for, because there's a big movement towards de-influencing the power of brands that people don't think are aligned with their own values.
Look, given influence is a $16.4 billion industry on last estimates, I believe, worldwide, I think what this does is show that there is a movement back. People have a high sense of morality really at their core, generally speaking. And I think that becoming hyper aware of the fact, and whether this taps into what we said last chat we had, where we should watch whether or not this whole TikTok movement and the spy balloon starts to have an impact, whether or not it's coming on the back of that or something else. people don't like necessarily being told what to do and feeling like they're being overly influenced. And so morality kicks in. They're like, hold on a second. If you're telling me what to do and what I have to do, maybe I'm not so okay with that. And so they start to push back. And I think that that's where the rise of it first came. It's not surprising. Through history, people have always been at some point after a while against the establishment. It's anti-establishment, or it's cancel culture, as you said just before. And now it's de-influencing. And, there's numerous other examples that are there when people say, hey, hold on a second, we've gone too far one way. Let's steady the ship a little bit.
Yeah. So apparently use of the hashtag de-influencing has really taken off. And it's like people that are calling themselves de-influencers there to challenge the hype.
Challenge the hype. And, I'm sure that there's a segment of those people who are doing it to carve their own niche as well. And how can I stand out in a crowded influencer market? I know I'll be anti-influencer. I'll be a de-influencer, and I'll give myself my own moniker. And in doing that, I will stand out even more. But, we've covered this before in some respects. If you think about which fashion brand was it that was producing the online shopping brand? I can't think of their name off the top of my head. We discussed once a few months ago, where there was a movement for people to start using their shopping bags that they were given and turning them into fashion themselves. And so it was a comment against the disposability of our worlds and how fashion was, fast fashion. It was, the rise against fast fashion. There is a movement and a trend always away from the things that take us too far down one path. And as I said, whether it's morality or people's ethical consciences coming into play, it's not surprising.
Yeah. It's interesting in this article that we found about this in Forbes, it says, but are influencing and de-influencing not simply two sides of the same coin? Criticizing or promoting a product both potentially drive engagement, and although de-influencing may make influencers appear more credible or honest in the short term, it poses challenges for their long-term careers if they rely on brand endorsements to get paid.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
It's going to be an interesting space to watch and see what happens.
I agree. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with the undercurrent of de-influencers.
Watch this space, people.
Very interesting. Great. Do you want to move on to campaign essentials?
Yes, let's do it. How to choose the right imagery for your brand, and looking at the unethical use of misleading images, where more recently one company falsely suggested that their CEO was a black woman by using a stock photo. So, I think we should dive into this one because it's a meaty topic.
Do you want to do the honors and introduce them, since I got to introduce the last one?
Okay. So this article that we're discussing today is actually a commentary piece, but it comes on the back of something that was in the PR News Online, which was an ethical conundrum. Should companies post diverse imagery if they're not diverse? As I said, company using a stock image to promote the fact that they had diversity within their organization when they actually didn't. And it's given rise to this argument that is promoting diversity something that we should be doing if we're not diverse ourselves? Are we walking the walk and walking the talk? Is our storytelling and story doing, as we would say here at Trust, aligned? And it opens up that debate. Can you look at it from the fact that, we're promoting diversity because we know it's important, or is it we're promoting diversity so that we can hide behind and we're diversity washing our brand? The example in this article was, should you be posting a green colored widget that people should be able to buy when all you produce is blue? Is that far more misleading because then it's false advertising, or because it's about driving sales? And then can you argue, well, the other side is true. If you're promoting diversity amongst your rank and file, is that a lie as well? And is that then false?
Yeah. I mean, this is slightly different, I feel like, than promoting something that a color of product or a kind of food you don't actually sell. I understand on the one hand, these companies don't want to look superannuated, like they're completely out of touch and that they're not with the times or not, embracing diversity. And they want to support diversity because they feel like they want to put their foot in that direction along with the rest of the world, but they aren't keeping up with it operationally, right? So it's like, I get why they would do it, because I feel like they're trying to show that their values are aligned with modern day society.
Mm.
But on the other hand, I feel like if you're using stock imagery that doesn't look like the people who work there, it is definitely misleading.
Look, I agree with you, but then let me pose a conundrum to you. In the world of PR, where you help do media training and you take the person who's within the organization and you're getting them to speak with terms that they wouldn't necessarily, be magniloquent here or speak about this there, don't answer that question in this way. Do these things to make sure that you come across the best possible way and change who you are for that moment. That's imagery being portrayed out in the media. Does that mean that there's always been this unethical behavior?
So I think you raised a relevant point there. I think it kind of depends on how much you're positioning it like that's who you actually are versus it's a representative image of who you aspire to be. Because to your point, isn't all branding, who you aspire to be as a brand rather than who you are today? And that's the definition of marketing now.
It comes down to that, to ethics and honesty. And okay, if you're saying this is a photo, you're putting it on the cover of a magazine, this is our CEO, that's an outright liar. If you're putting an ad on TV or you're coaching someone on how to answer and it's generally true and you're saying this is how I'm portraying something in this moment, but I'm not saying that this is exactly what it is. I think that there's a slight change in how you could view those things. I think where it gets probably a little bit more murky is in this whole area of deep fakes as well. Taking a video of Ryan Gosling and deep faking it to make it look like he's endorsing your product. Now that's definitely skirting the lines of.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
I don't even think it's skirting the lines. It's outright lie. You're right.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's gray. I think that's straight in the white or black situation.
But I mean, that's going to change the celebrity endorsements and everything like that. This deep fake world that's scary.
It is scary.
Ultimately, if you're a business leader or you're in an organization running the marketing and you're wondering, is this ethical? Age-old question that I like to ask myself is, would you wear this on a T-shirt? Would you tell people on a T-shirt what you're saying behind closed doors? Would you wear, on a T-shirt where you're saying this is who we are, or why we made this decision to put this photo up? If you're not going to, then don't do it.
That's good advice.
I think that sanity check. What is it? They can check themselves. I don't know. I'm sure there's a term here.
Check themselves before they wreck themselves.
Yes.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's the one. So from my early advertising days, someone said to me, if you're thinking of, how to make this more saleable and you're lying, just think, would we wear this on a T-shirt? And I've always used that as a guide for how I help clients or, make decisions. So that would be the takeout from that.
It's a takeaway.
Takeaway. I don't know why I did that. Takeaway. Would you like to do the takeaway?
I don't really want to have leftovers of this.
I understand that.
This is a hard one. I think in general, it's a fine line between wanting to demonstrate your commitment to values that you hold but haven't yet embodied for one reason or another, and using diverse photos to do that is definitely a gray area. I think you have to be very careful about. If you're a completely white organization with no effort to hire anybody that's not white, you might want to be extra careful about using that kind of imagery in your marketing, because I think, to the point we always make, you definitely want to embody what you are promoting. So you want your story doing to match your storytelling. And if your marketing is indicating that you're something you're not, then you need to just bring that into alignment. Doesn't necessarily even mean you have to stop using the images, but definitely start hiring people that are not white.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is where I think it transcends marketing. I think that this becomes an organizational value and it's permeated from the top. And I think, at that point in time, if it's being signed off by someone, it's come from a direction that's elsewhere. So make sure that you're doing it and leading by example.
Is permeated your word of the day?
No.
Darn.
Sorry.
That must mean I missed it.
Why?
Because we're at Buzzword Reveal.
I've missed yours then too, have I? we've been both too caught up in
In
all of the
the
excitement of today.
engaging
And
conversation.
I was very pleased to get my word in. It was a real doozy of a word today.
So what was your word?
My word was magniloquent.
When did you say magniloquent?
When I was talking about how you have to do PR training and you tell people what to say and how to say it, you get them to speak in grandiose manners, and you say you speak, and you have to get them to be magniloquent when they're talking, which means expressed in lofty or grandiose style. It's pompous, bombastic, and boastful.
That was very well used.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So my word of the day was superannuated.
When did you use that? What does that mean?
It means retired because of age or infirmity, or too old for use, work, service, or position, or antiquated or obsolete, which is the way I used it, and said that companies that don't want to seem superannuated are using these diverse images.
Clever. Well done.
That was a hard one to fit in. That was not an easy one to fit in.
No, superannuated. No, neither was
Yours was
magniloquent.
no. We're getting good at this.
Yeah, I know we are. We're learning.
Or getting bad at catching, but better at using.
But I think, the whole thing is that these hot topics lately, and so we're so caught up in them that and the other person's listening intently rather than listening for the buzzword.
That must be it.
Mm.
Oh well.
There you go.
I mean, so it's
well done. Well done.
Neck and neck and neck. Okay, so before we sign off, I'd like to thank all of our listeners and remind everyone you can catch this show wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Please remember to subscribe, rate, and share the show to keep the content coming your way and to help us grow this community.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Oh, I did it again. I don't imagine you watched the Super Bowl, did you, Hamish?
No, it's middle of the day for me, so no. No, I know Rihanna was halftime show, and there's some controversy over her hand signals, but that's about all I know.
Wait, hand signals? Did I miss this?
Yeah, she did that at part of her show, and so she's the Illuminati or some.
Oh, isn't that like a vagina symbol?
Everyone's like, it could be a Dorito symbol. Or it was at the end, supposedly, of shines bright like a diamond. Maybe it was a diamond. I mean, who knows?
Pregnant symbol.
Now, who knows? And I can't keep up with all of that stuff. It's too much.
I think she's too high profile to be Illuminati. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just not sure she's part of it.
If they were as powerful as everyone thinks they were, they wouldn't be known. If you're that good at controlling people, you're going to be that good at hiding it.
Oh, yeah. No, that's too overt. There's no way. You wouldn't signal that.
No.
No way. You would never let anybody know that. Unless you, had them at some like ritual that blackmailed them for life. Like that's the only way you ever tell anybody anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.